In the annals of outlaw biker history, one name stands out: Terry the Tramp. He is a legend in the club community and was an early Hells Angel out in California when the love and peace movement was in full swing in the 1960s. Terry took the stage in Hells Angels 69, a film that showcased his imposing presence. Terry's life was a whirlwind of rebellion, excess, and mystery. Born John Terrence Tracy on December 21, 1939, Terry seemed destined for an extraordinary life from the start. After finishing high school, Terry joined the Coast Guard in 1957, seeking adventure and a break from the ordinary. He served for 3 years, but the regimented life of the military couldn't contain his restless spirit. Upon leaving the Coast Guard in 1960, Terry embarked on a journey that would define his life and cement his place in outlaw biker lore. Terry's post-military years were marked by a series of odd jobs and constant movement. He worked as an actor, laborer, mechanic, and tree trimmer, never staying in one place or profession for long. Standing at 6 foot 2 inches and weighing 210 pounds, Terry cut an imposing figure. His massive arms, full beard, and shoulder-length black hair made him stand out in any crowd. Hunter S. Thompson, the famous gonzo journalist, described Terry as having a wild, jabbering demeanor not calculated to soothe the soul of any personnel specialist. Terry's reputation grew both within the club and in the wider world of outlaw bikers. He was seen as the embodiment of the Hells Angel spirit, free, wild, and utterly uncontrollable. As the 1960s progressed, Terry's fame, or infamy, continued to grow. His exploits with the Oakland Hells Angels would soon catapult him into the spotlight, making him one of the most recognizable figures in the outlaw biker world. Terry's charismatic presence and wild lifestyle made him a natural fit for the growing media fascination with outlaw biker culture. This attention reached its peak with Terry's starring role in the 1969 film Hells Angels 69. While the movie was largely an exploitation film, Terry's natural charisma shone through, outshining even the professional actors. Terry's appearance in the film cemented his status as a cultural icon. His distinctive style, including a red bike with out-hanger handlebars and cut-off gloves, became synonymous with the outlaw biker image. He was no longer just a member of the Hells Angels. He was becoming the face of the entire outlaw biker movement. Interestingly, Terry is credited with starting the trend of cut-off gloves. As one Slaves member recounted, on a hot summer day, Terry took his winter gloves and cut the fingers off, sparking a fashion trend that remains popular in biker culture to this day. However, this newfound fame came with a price. Within the Hells Angels, particularly the Oakland chapter, Terry's rising star began to cast a long shadow. Jealousy brewed among some members who felt that Terry was getting too big for his boots. There were whispers that he was more concerned with his own fame than the good of the club. The Hells Angels as a whole were undergoing significant changes. New rules were being implemented, including a ban on needle drugs and heroin. This shift was partly in response to growing public concern about the Angels' involvement in the drug trade. Terry found himself caught in the middle of these changes. On one hand, he was the perfect poster boy for the wild, free-spirited image the Angels wanted to project. On the other hand, his hard-partying lifestyle and growing individual fame made him a liability in the eyes of some club leaders who were trying to clean up the Angels' image. As tensions rose within the club, Terry's position became increasingly precarious. The drug rule ultimately got Terry the Tramp kicked out of the club or pushed out of the club. He was too popular to ignore, too visible to control, and too unpredictable to trust. The very qualities that had made him a star within the outlaw biker world now placed him in a dangerous position. Unbeknownst to Terry, dark plans were being set in motion that would bring his meteoric rise to a sudden and tragic end. February 13, 1970, marked the end of Terry the Tramp's wild ride. At the age of 30, he was found dead, reportedly from an overdose of SEO barbital, a popular barbiturate at the time. Initially, his death was written off as just another casualty of the hard-living outlaw biker lifestyle. But as the years passed, a darker truth began to emerge. Rumors began to circulate within the biker community that Terry's death was not an accident, but a carefully orchestrated murder. The story that eventually came to light was shocking, even by outlaw biker standards. Terry had not died from an accidental overdose, but from a hot shot, a lethal dose of drugs administered with the intention to kill. According to multiple sources, including former Hells Angels, who later turned informant, the order had come from none other than Sonny Barger himself. Sonny Barger allegedly ordered a hit on Terry the Tramp. The man who carried out the deed was known only as Animal, a trusted member of the Oakland chapter. The motive for Terry's murder remains a subject of debate. Some say it was jealousy over Terry's growing fame and popularity. Others point to disputes over money, possibly related to drug deals or Terry's involvement in the Hells Angels '69 movie. There were rumors that Terry was a co-producer on the film, which may have caused financial tensions within the club. In a final chilling detail, it was reported that after administering the fatal dose, Animal called Sonny Barger to let him listen to Terry's last breaths over the phone. This act of calculated cruelty marked the end of Terry the Tramp, silencing one of the most colorful and controversial figures in outlaw biker history. Yet even in death, Terry's legend continued to grow. The attempt to silence him had the opposite effect, turning him into a martyr and an even bigger icon of the outlaw biker lifestyle. Today, decades after his death, Terry the Tramp remains a subject of fascination for bikers and non-bikers alike. Terry's style is still imitated, his story still told, and his spirit of rebellion still admired. Terry the Tramp's legacy is complex and contradictory, much like the man himself. He was a rebel, a criminal, a party animal, and a tragic figure. His life and death serve as a cautionary tale about the dangers of living on the edge, but also as an inspiration to those who believe in living life on their own terms no matter the cost. In the end, Terry the Tramp's greatest achievement may have been his ability to embody the spirit of an era, the freedom, the excess, and the danger of the 1960s outlaw biker culture. After his death, Terry's family had his body exhumed and reburied at the Calvary Catholic Cemetery and Mausoleum in Sacramento County, California. This final resting place seems at odds with the wild life Terry led, but perhaps it's a fitting end to a life that defied easy categorization. His memory rides on, forever wild, forever free, forever Terry the Tramp.